in here I've got the New York Times, Ban Ki-moon, coming out and calling for world government and world taxes. But this is what I'm saying, George. Mm-hmm. What is the ADL and CBS doing? What is Salon doing when they come out and say it's a conspiracy theory, there's no mercury in the shots when the insert says it? What are they doing when they say there's no world government when it's simultaneously being announced by mainstream media as a good thing? It's almost like they want to destroy themselves. I mean, do they understand, or are they so arrogant and they think it's 20 years ago and people just bought whatever they said?
Well, it's ad hominem. What they're trying to do is they're trying to go after you as a person. And I know you. And for people who listen to Alex for the first time, and we've all gone through our Alex initiation, Alex rants and raves, and he shouts and he raises his voice. And so many people say, I can't stand, he's just too intense. And I just say, listen to him for a week. And kind of listen. Well,
I don't want to talk about me, but
listen to what I'm saying, because this is important. And Alex not only is about 98% of what he's saying, if not 100%, right on accurate, that you won't get on CBS or NBC or whatever, which is information you need to know. But he also has a heart of gold. As gruff and as grump as he sounds, he's a great guy. And what's more important is that for all the time I had my television show, I would invite hundreds of city officials, newscasters, people to come in and not debate, but just have a discussion about this. And I know you've done the same thing. And you would invite the top newscasters of CBS, NBC, of the ADL to come in here and just have a discussion and share back and forth. But they won't do it. They won't come and have an honest discussion.
They have to dehumanize you.
And so instead of, as human beings, talking about our point of view and
they want to separate everybody.
Of course.
And it's all about, that's why Chris Matthews and the folks on CNN, not just MSNBC, they have that talking point that if you say, I don't want socialist health care, they go, why are you a racist?
Yes.
Obviously, it's illogical. It has nothing to do with that. They are invoking racism. They are the racists. They are the people using it as a political weapon.
And I'm sure that you would invite Chris or any of these.
We have. Yeah. We've called them all.
You'd say, just come on down. Look, we're just going to, and we don't even have to debate. You can have your say. I'll have my say. No fighting back and forth, and let the people decide. But you know what? You've been doing this for years and years and years, and they won't do it. And because they've got something to hide. They've got something to hide. And so, folks who are listening, the people who are listening to this message right now, you are the power. If each and every one of you today can go out and talk to one person about this and plant some seeds.
Well, tell them about Gandhi, because he has those quotes. He went around for 20 years just teaching people they had power, and then suddenly it all imploded.
Yeah, and I go to India almost every year, and I study in India, and Mahatma Gandhi is I've been to his home. I've read him for years and years and years. And he was a very, very bright man. He went to Oxford. He got his law degree. He went down to South Africa. He was very wealthy down there. But when he came back to India, there's about 350 million people living in India and about 300,000 British. And the British were in complete control of the Indian subcontinent, which at that time also included the nations of Pakistan,
Kashmir,
and Kashmir and the whole area. And 300,000 people were the sahibs of the whole nation because they had convinced the intellect, not the intellect, but the minds of the Indian people that they were beneath them and that the English were more powerful. And Gandhi came back and he realized that this was a fight for the minds and the hearts of the Indian people. And so he showed through example, through love, through his dedication, and he would go to village, and the most important thing he said is that the seed of God is in the heart of every man, woman, and child, and that he was there to show through example that we could nurture the seed and that we were divine, sovereign beings, whether we were white, black, Asian. And when he got the Indian people to understand that they had value, that they had intellect, that they had rights, and his main thing was to get the British out still as friends. He didn't see them as enemies. He saw them as opponents and he realized that they had wrong thinking. And he did this through hard work and through peace. And you know what, folks? We can't beat the Illuminati right now with guns. We've got to do it with intellect.
They want to make it a physical fight.
Yes.
Now, at the same time, we should defend ourselves.
Of course.
And Gandhi had something to say about that.
And absolutely, Gandhi was no coward. Gandhi was a man.
Well, he let him beat him up all the time.
He was a man's man, but he would say that it's better for a person to go to war and fight and die for their country than to be a coward and hide under the banner of nonviolent civil disobedience.
Well, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Yes.
You got to know when to play your cards. I mean, at points where there's police and they're just peacefully protesting,
yes,
let them beat them up in front of people.
Because
that then shows people. But at the same time, if they're rounding up people in villages, taking them to FEMA camps, you got to defend yourself.
Absolutely. And for example, when what was going on in Russia was happening in the Ukraine, when Stalin was just decimating the Ukraine, Gandhi was very clear that it was important for those people to stand up and fight. He was no coward, and we encourage you not to be cowards, to see this thing as crystal clearly as possible. These people care not one iota about your freedom or your life. And so you need to protect yourself on all different fronts.
But don't be cowards. Get involved. Speak out. You're not going to be able to physically fight if you can't even talk to your neighbor about this.
Exactly.
It's in increments. It's in steps.
Yes, and it's through the first awareness of becoming aware of the massive illusion. The massive illusion of the...
Yeah, don't just believe everything we're saying. Just realize you're being conned. There's more to the world.
Yes, and then as you become aware of the delusion and the manipulation on the third dimension, and then you become aware of what we call the second awareness, is that God, whatever you want to call God, the universal creator, the loving intelligence...
We've got to go to break. We have to go to break.